Listen up. Life doesn't care about your excuses. Nobody's handing out medals for almost tried or had a good reason. Results are what matter. Either you did it or you didn't. It's that simple. Excuses are comfortable lies you tell yourself to feel better about quitting. Results are the truth that stare back at you in the mirror. And the mirror doesn't lie. You say you're tired. Everyone's tired. You say you don't have time. Everyone has the same 24 hours. You say it's hard. Of course it's hard. That's why it's worth doing. Every day. You have a choice: bow down to your excuses or fight for your results. Your results don't care how you feel, what the weather's like, or who doubted you. Results only show up when you grind, when you refuse to stop, when you go further than you thought you could. So stop negotiating with yourself. Stop waiting for the right time. There is no right time. There's only right now. The world doesn't remember your excuses, but it will never forget your results. Excuses are nothing more than carefully crafted lies we whisper, lies we to ourselves to escape responsibility. They sound convincing in the moment. I'm too tired, I don't have time, I'll start tomorrow. But deep down, you know they're poison. They're designed to protect your comfort zone, not your potential. The mind loves comfort, and excuses are the perfect shield to keep you soft, to keep you average, to keep you stuck exactly where you are. When you tell yourself an excuse, you're choosing to believe the easy story instead of facing the hard truth. It's easier to say, I couldn't do it because of this, than to admit, I didn't do it because I quit. That's what excuses really are. Permission slips for quitting. They mask weakness under the disguise of reason. But once you strip them down, you'll see them for what they are: lies. And every time you feed yourself one of those lies, you get weaker, not stronger. Excuses are seductive because they let you off the hook without guilt, at least for a moment. They feel like a release, a way to dodge the pressure. But pressure is what creates growth. Without pressure, there's no breakthrough. By giving in to excuses, you rob yourself of the chance to find out what you're truly capable of. You never push your limits. You never find the next level. Instead, you stay stuck inside the cage of your own false justifications. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who actually made it. Do you think they got there by leaning on excuses? Do you think they became great by explaining why they couldn't? No. They faced the same obstacles you face. They had the same lack of time, the same fatigue, the same fears. The only difference is that they didn't excuses dictate their actions. They chose results over reasons. They chose to grind instead of rationalize. The truth is, excuses don't erase the pain of failure. They just delay it. Because eventually, you're left with nothing but regret. And regret cuts deeper than any hardship. You can lie to the world about why you didn't do something, and maybe they'll buy it. But you can't lie to yourself when you're alone, staring in the mirror. You'll know the truth. You didn't fail because you couldn't. You failed because you made excuses. Results are the ultimate scoreboard. They don't care about your feelings, your struggles, or how badly you wanted something. Wanting doesn't equal achieving. You can talk all day about how hard you worked, how many hours you put in, how tough the journey was, but at the end of the day, the world measures you by what you produced, not what you almost did. Results are the raw proof of whether you backed up your words with action. Effort is important, but effort without results is incomplete. You can sweat, you can grind, You can give speeches about how much you sacrificed. But if there's no outcome to show for it, the work remains unfinished. The brutal truth is that no one else sees the hours you put in behind the scenes. They only see what you delivered. Results are the evidence that the effort wasn't wasted. They are the receipts of your discipline. When you focus only on effort, you can trick yourself into believing you've done enough. You pat yourself on the back for trying, and while trying is better than nothing, it's not the goal. Results force accountability. They're black and white. Either you hit the target or you didn't. There's no hiding, no middle ground, no sugarcoating. That's why results matter so much more than effort. They remove the illusion and make you face reality. Think about competition. No one gets rewarded for almost winning. No team hangs a banner for gave a great effort. History only remembers champions, record breakers, and finishers. That doesn't mean effort isn't valuable. It is. But only when it translates into outcomes. Results are what separate the dreamers from the doers, the talkers from the achievers. Without results, your story gets forgotten. With results, your name gets remembered. Results also teach you more than effort ever could. Effort can fool you into thinking you're on the right track, but results expose whether your methods, discipline, and mindset are actually working. They force you to adapt, refine, and grow. You can't argue with them. You can't explain them away. They're the truth, plain and brutal. And that truth is exactly what you need if you're serious about progress. Results are the currency of achievement. They are the tangible proof that you took action and pushed beyond excuses. Nobody can debate results because they stand as evidence. You can talk for hours about your intentions, your ideas, and your plans, but without results, it's just noise. Results are what separate people who say they're committed from those who actually live it. They don't bend to your story or your circumstance. They are either there or they aren't. When you chase results, you force yourself to be honest about where you stand. You can't hide behind effort alone. You can't say, I tried, and expect that to mean the same as finishing the job. Effort is invisible to the world, but results speak loudly without you having to say a word. They show discipline, consistency, and resilience in a way that talking never could. Results are the scoreboard that doesn't lie. They reveal the truth of who really showed up. There's a dangerous comfort in celebrating effort without results. It lets you believe you're moving forward when, in reality, you're standing still. Telling yourself, at least I tried, might ease the sting of failure for a moment, but it won't get you closer to your goals. Results force accountability. They make you face whether your approach, your discipline, and your mindset are strong enough. Without them, you're left with empty effort and self-congratulation that leads nowhere. Results also create momentum. When you see progress, even small wins, it builds a fire to keep pushing. That fire doesn't come from excuses, and it doesn't come from effort alone. It comes from witnessing your work translate into something real. Results give you proof that the struggle was worth it, and that proof becomes fuel. The more results you produce, the harder it is to stop, because success itself becomes addictive. In every arena of life, sports, business, fitness, personal growth, results are the deciding factor. Nobody celebrates almost champions or almost finished projects. The ones who are remembered, the ones who inspire others, are those who delivered outcomes no matter the odds. Results cut through doubt. Silence critics and set a standard that excuses can never reach. They are the ultimate validation of discipline, sacrifice, and relentless action. Hardship is the toll you pay on the road to success. There is no shortcut around it, no way to dodge it, no cheat code that makes the grind disappear. Every single person who has achieved something worth remembering had to face obstacles that test them to their core. The struggle is not a punishment. It's the entry fee. If you want the reward, you've got to be willing to pay that fee. And the currency is pain, sacrifice, and relentless perseverance. Most people see hardship as a signal to stop. They hit resistance and think it's a sign they're not meant to continue. But the truth is, resistance is the confirmation that you're heading in the right direction. If the path were smooth, everyone would walk it, and greatness would mean nothing. Hardship is what separates the people who say they want it from the people who actually prove it. It's a filter, and only those willing to endure pass through to the other side. Hardship also reveals your character in a way comfort never can. When things are easy, anyone can show up and perform. But when things get brutally difficult, when your body is screaming to quit and your mind is begging for relief, that's when the real you steps forward. You either rise or fold. You either fight through or you surrender. Those moments of pain strip away the mask and show you exactly what you're made of. The beauty of hardship is that it doesn't just test you, it transforms you. Every challenge you face and overcome makes you tougher, sharper, more resilient. Struggle builds calluses on your mind and body, making you capable of handling even greater challenges down the line. Without those struggles, you'd remain weak, unprepared, and untested. Hardship molds you into someone capable of carrying the weight of your goals. It forges strength that comfort could never provide. And here's the paradox: the harder it is, the more valuable it becomes. The obstacles you face don't reduce the worth of your goal. They increase it. The climb makes the summit matter. The fight makes the victory taste sweeter. If success were handed out easily, it wouldn't mean anything. Hardship is what gives success its weight, its significance, and its power. Without it, there's no growth, no achievement, no greatness. Discipline is the force that carries you when motivation disappears. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark, a rush of energy that comes and goes. You can't build anything lasting on a spark because it burns out too quickly. Discipline, on the other hand, is the firewood. It's what keeps the flame alive when the excitement is gone, when the fatigue is crushing, when your mind is begging you to stop. Discipline is showing up whether you feel like it or not. Feelings are unreliable. They change by the hour, sometimes by the minute. One day you feel unstoppable. The next you feel like you can't even take the first step. If you base your actions on your moods, your results will always be inconsistent. Discipline doesn't ask you how you feel. Discipline says, this is what needs to be done, and we're doing it. It strips away the drama and emotion, and it gets you moving no matter what your head is telling you. Discipline is the muscle you build by repetition. Every time you choose to act despite not wanting to, you strengthen it. Every time you push past your feelings and stick to your standards, you add another layer of armor to your mindset. Over time, this becomes who you are. You stop negotiating with yourself. You stop searching for reasons to quit. Discipline becomes automatic. And that's when consistency turns into unstoppable momentum. There will always be 1,000 reasons not to do the work. You're tired, you're stressed, The weather's bad. Nobody's watching. Those excuses will never stop showing up at your door. Discipline is slamming the door in their face and getting to work anyway. It's refusing to let external circumstances or internal emotions dictate your actions. It's building a standard for yourself so high that nothing can pull you beneath it. The truth is, greatness doesn't come from doing the work when you feel good. It comes from doing when you feel broken, when you're drained, when every fiber of your body says no. That's the battlefield where discipline shines the brightest. That's where the separation happens between the ones who only move when they're motivated and the ones who move regardless. Discipline doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It creates results in the middle of imperfection. Legacy is not built on the excuses you told. It's built on the results you produced. No one writes stories about why you couldn't get it done. No one celebrates the reasons you gave for falling short. History only remembers what you accomplished, what you created, and the impact you left behind. Excuses fade into the background like smoke, but results carve themselves into stone. They are the footprints you leave for the world to see long after you're gone. When people look back on your life, they won't be replaying the list of obstacles you faced. They won't be saying, "He had a tough schedule. She was too tired, he didn't feel ready." Those details disappear. What lasts are the results. The victories you earned, the barriers you broke, the goals you achieved despite all the reasons not to. Your legacy is a scoreboard, and excuses don't add points. Every time you choose results over excuses, you're building something permanent. You're stacking bricks of proof that you refused to bow down to circumstances. You're creating evidence that you stood tall when it was easier to fold. That evidence doesn't just live in your story. It inspires others. Your results become fuel for someone else to push harder, to rise higher, to stop making excuses in their own life. Results ripple outward in a way excuses never could. Excuses are forgettable because everyone has them. Everyone can explain why they didn't chase their dreams, why they settled, why they quit. That's the easy story, the common story. Results, though, are rare. And that rarity is what makes them unforgettable. People don't talk about the crowd that quit. They talk about the few who didn't. They remember the names tied to results. That's how legacies are written. In the end, your life will either be a long list of excuses or a legacy of results. One disappears the moment you're gone. The other echoes for generations. The choice is yours every single day. Do you want to be remembered as someone who always had a reason not to, or someone who always found a way to? Excuses die with you, but results outlive you. That's the power of legacy. That's why excuses are worthless, and results are everything.